32 artists from different genres, from all corners of the globe. We're internationally known. Do it. Don't be scared. It's just the WAG, baby. Guess what? We're full, baby. The WAG is going to go down now. It is. We have our 32 picked, chosen, and told. Welcome to the WAG.
Four, three, two, one.
32 artists from different genres, from all corners of the globe. We're internationally known.
Show up and he'll take care of the rest.
Don't be scared. It's just the WAG, baby.
What's a genre?
We're doing silent form for participants and for the judges. We are only doing 32 waggers this time. We're cutting it back. So you make a pace that cut, then you gotta make a pace first, right?
Have you signed up yet? Do it. Don't be scared. It's just the WAG, baby. Do it. Don't be scared. It's just the WAG, baby.
Don't say you didn't go. Now, Joe, bring it down.
32 only. Sign up ASAP.
What's a genre?
And what's a genre?
Genre hoedown.
No. It's What's a Genre Showdown.
Sign up. A silent forum for participants and for the judges. We're going to do this right this time.
Everybody wants to join. Everybody wants to join the What's a Genre Showdown. Everybody wants to join. Everybody wants to join the What's a Genre Showdown.
We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear, and MIDI too. How to arrange, compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac and even with a mobile device, we'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and synths that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talkin' IT. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much rap. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. We're talking IT. We're talking IT. Every Thursday night on Angified.
Oh, do.
I love that intro.
Nice.
I love it. I mean, it's original. It's something. It's very eye catchy. And the very first time I actually watched y'all's show, I'm like, man, this is a catchy show. I don't understand why a lot of people haven't. There's a lot of people that I know that hasn't watched this show, but I know I'm bringing some traffic.
It's
Nice.
getting them on Thursday. And you
Yep.
take care of our special guest tag in the intro.
That's right.
Appreciate
Welcome.
y'all having me. I
Mhm.
appreciate y'all having me, man. This is it's an honor to be on y'all's show. Y'all are very highly
Well,
inspirational to me. So
Well, thank you. Always good to have guests. Always good to have you on.
and we've got a special show tonight. It's a combo treat. The WAG round two submissions are in, and we get to check them out first, even before
That's right.
Ange.
And that's something that we rarely get because she's always got the first dibs on this stuff coming in.
yeah.
Yeah. And Mike, BigFaxThaTruth, gets the first track in what we're going to be checking
That's
Nice.
out
right,
tonight.
man. This track, man, this track right here is a very good track. And in fact, this is actually expanding on us.
Well, before you go into the track, I'm going to show what we're going to look at tonight, and we'll get into your track to the IT cave.
All
Checking
right.
it out.
Flip around. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix it up a little bit tonight. We've got 4 mashups for round 2. So we're going to take a look at each mashup, and then we're going to switch over to some psychology videos. Glenn, you are going to love this
Nice.
channel I found tonight.
Mhm.
It's so good that like all the videos are coming from one channel because when it comes to music and psychology, I found a killer channel and they're
Nice.
metalheads.
I love it.
So so our WAD tracks are going to be coming from Angie's playlist. That's going to be in the description. You can see the links to each one of these songs and to this playlist. And after we check out Mashup 1, we're going to go over to the Psychology of Rock at Psychology of Rock over on YouTube. And so glad I'm getting to cover some psychology tonight. There's
Oh yeah,
science in
there's
this,
science in
Glenn.
it all.
Yeah, so we're going to look at a couple of different things that they have. How music changes you, the science behind the influence of music on your personality. This is kind of like,
Mhm.
why we listen to the music we listen to and how that music affects us. A great way to start on the psychology of the music. And then after we do the mashup twos, we're going to look at the
Mhm.
psychology of drummers. And from there, we'll go into the mashup 3, and then we're going to look at the psychology of guitar
Nice.
players, because drummers and guitar players are the ones that
Mhm.
intrigue me the most
Yeah, with the
psychologically.
drummers, it's the separation of all 4 limbs and having 4 things going on at the same time independently that can conflict with each other, and that's the part that if you can get something like digga 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 over here while you have something going doo, doo, over there, it sounds very simple, but trying to get it all locked in at the same time is very tricky.
Yeah, and I've always suspected there's certain characteristics of guitarists and drummers that I'm curious to see what
Yeah,
science has to
enhanced motor
say.
control. I see it.
Yep. And then we'll be doing the
Mhm.
mashup 4s. And for the final video, we're going to look behind the science behind musical instrument choices. So for all the other
Mhm.
musicians out there, um, this is more about like why people tend to pick the instruments that they do and what influences their
All right.
decision making there.
There's a lot of things that go into that, and that's the thing is,
So
with some people they have a very specific thing, like they like this particular style or this particular artist, but other people they're kind of all over the map. I'm definitely all over the map. I mean, if you sat down in my car and looked at the presets on the radio, it's like one's classical, one's jazz, one's rock, one is hard rock, and
there's got to be a
I
dead
wish. I mean,
channel
if
in
there was a dead station, I'd be listening to it.
there.
But any station that might have the dead, those are 2 or 3 of the stations that are in there. Plus, when I drive, if I drive out to Pennsylvania, I have another 6 stations that are out there that you just go through the strong stations when you get there and you pick a couple of them. So one of them is country for sure. And that's the thing, is I was never really a country guy, but just in driving around and just hitting the buttons and finding something that comes in on the radio, and then, you know, it's country and I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, I like it. So, you know, I've come around on country. Let's put it that way.
Well, then you're gonna like one of our mashups, which has some country in it. And speaking of our mashups, what we're gonna do, we're covering the WAG Summer Series, and this is round 2. And for round 2, the first mashup, we're gonna take a listen to these 2 songs. We got Big Fax to give us the facts on his and Mayvai's track. And they were going against Oddball and Vampire for hip hop rock. So it really is a mashup on this one.
So I mean, this track right here, I mean, we was going for more. We had another track, so the track, you know, it just wasn't hitting. And Mayvai's like, Mike, you know, I got something. He calls me Mike, so he's like, I got something different. So it came with a harder track, and I'm glad that the lyrics, I still had the lyrics written, because they fit the song, and it was in the same key and it was in the same way. So this song is like one of my favorite songs, because the expression on this song is talking about life stages, what kind of stage of life you go through, what levels hit, what you go through, and what you experience. So now I'm experiencing the WAG. I was scared before, but don't be scared. It's just the WAG, baby, as Rusty said.
That's right.
Oh.
Well, and the WAG stages kind of go like life stages sometimes.
I kind of shout out one of the last Waggers track. I didn't really see it until Mayvai said something. He's like, you know, listen to what you're saying. And I kind of shout out to one of the last Waggers tracks, and I'll let y'all hear that. Y'all be able to find that little key in there. And I'm enjoying it so far, man. I'm nervous about this. So,
you know, you've gotten through 2 rounds, and you know, I feel like the first couple of rounds, especially you're brand new to the WAG, they're the trickiest, because you really do have to get used to the format. But ironically, in the later rounds, the more advanced genres come in.
Oh yeah,
so you know, it's tricky going in to learn how to do it in 7 days, collab with a mystery collabor. But as you get comfortable doing it, the genres start to pick up. And
I know it's not going to be easy, but my goal is to be a winner. And these last 2 tracks, the wheel has spun in my favor.
In your wheelhouse. Oh, Ange, don't lock the playlist now. I'm about to go through it.
It's fun in my wheelhouse. I got DJ Tatius on the first round, Mayvai Hendrix on the second round, and I'm kind of praying for Daurian on the next round.
Everybody wants.
I gotta have it. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just a thing. So, man, I hope y'all love this track, and can't wait for it to be released out on all platforms. So,
yeah. Well, we're going to be getting the edits together, and you're actually keep your ears and eyes peeled. The WAG Summer Series finals are coming. So let's take a listen to this one that you and Mayvai did, and then we'll switch over and we'll take a listen to Oddball and Vampires. These are for the Mashup 1 hip hop rock.
You're addicted to the vision that you painted. The only difference is it's not over with. Walked it back in and get addicted to the pain that you suffer with. Just praying for my energy, overcome the opposition. Always be kind, rewind a vivid image. Maybe you just full of it, addicted to the lyrical tension. It's just demon time, a lot on my mind. I'm playing in my dreams. Growing up ain't easy where the rules keep on changing quick. Loving lost and legends, man, this journey it'll make you sick. But the beauty in the struggle, in the way we rise and fall. Learning who we really are when our backs against the wall. From the cradle to the grave, we're just trying to make some sense of this wild ride we live in, so beautiful and intense. Years go by like the seasons, watching young become the old. Stories that we carry, some silver and gold. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout. As you try to find the faith and strength to show some restraint and become salient to all those around. And if you feel the need to leave them all for a spin, now's not the time, you're gonna have no out. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout.
Yeah, you're stuck in a cycle, feels like strong grip. Every single day that I'm fight, it's just me trying not to slip back into a salient habit where they judge me out of spite. Trying to break out of this routine, but pleasure and comfort hold me tight. Fighting all the shadows in this epic long battle, trying to get a handle. Fighting dope with the candle, strapping on the saddle. Steed carries my weight, but this mental battle won't scare me to my fate. La da 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 dee da, la da la da dee da.
Growing up ain't easy where the rules keep on changing quick. Loving lost and legends, man, this journey it'll make you sick. But the beauty in the struggle, in the way we rise and fall. Learning who we really are when our backs against the wall. From the cradle to the grave, we're just trying to make some sense of this wild ride we live in, so beautiful and intense. Years go by like the seasons, watch the young become the old. Stories that we carry, some silver and gold. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout. As you try to find the faith and strength to show some restraint and become salient to all those around. And if you feel the need to leave them all for a spin, now's not the time, you're gonna have no out. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout. As you try to find the faith and strength to show some restraint and become salient to all those around. And if you feel the need to leave them all for a spin, now's not the time, you're gonna have no out. Life centers its ways around a habit that you faithfully become a devout.
Right.
Wow.
That's a
Very
banger,
cool.
man.
I love it. I love that song.
Eh, And I gotta warn you, Glenn, that chorus will stick in your head. It's been stuck in mine
I
since
believe it. I
last
believe it.
week.
It's got that catchiness to it for sure.
It's actually trending. It's actually trending right now. I mean, it's still trending. I mean, it's been trending since we posted it. It popped up there. Mayvai sent me a copy, and I'm sitting there like, I've only trended one time on BandLab, and it's been a long time ago, but it's been trending in 3 different areas on BandLab, along with
Nice.
a lot of other WAG contestants. So it's crazy, man.
All right.
Well, it's got a lot of elements that different music lovers are gonna like. I mean, you got the hip hop and
Right.
the
I mean,
rock in there, and those are two
yes,
big
sir.
audiences.
I love it. This is my favorite track so far.
And rock covers a lot of ground too, so you could swing it a lot of different directions, and you definitely hit it there for sure.
Well,
Yeah. I really like how you two accented each other's vocally on the different parts. Like hearing Mayvai behind you on your parts, and hearing you going into
right.
Mayvai's part, like the vocal implementation you guys did really showed off
his rapping skills. I thought, I never heard Mayvai rap. The way he come with the rap, I wanted to go back and redo my verse so bad, and he kept on saying, "No, Mike, it's good. It's really good. It's and I'm
It
like,
was.
it wasn't resonating then. And then he's like, well, let me just finish up the song and let me finish mastering it, and I'll send it back to you, then see how it sounds. So I just sat there and listened to it for a couple times, put on my headphones, listen to it with the headphones, sound good. Listen without the headphones, sound even better. So I'm like, okay, bye.
Hey, that's a good sign. If it sounds good
Yeah,
without the
so
headphones, that's a
hell
good
yeah, let's go
sign.
ahead and go with it.
Nice.
So the links for all these tracks are in the description. Everybody go check them out. We've got till Friday night. The likes and the comments are going to help to kind of get over the edge, because you guys do have a good competitor here.
Yeah.
You guys were going against Vampire and Oddball, and they stepped up too. And Solid Backbone is their track, and Vampire really shows off his vocal skills on this one. You get to hear his wheelhouse. The wheel spun in his wheelhouse on this one.
My eyes is going.
And Oddball also master arranger and composer. What he did with Vampire here is a worthy competition to this.
This is gonna be a hard genre right here.
Yeah, it's going to be close. That's why these likes in the comments going to be important for these.
So if y'all watching, please come through and keep on commenting and liking and sharing, please.
Yeah, check out Angie's playlist. All the tracks are in there. So let's see what Vampire and Oddball cooked up. Great mashup one for round 2.
Hey yo, Oddball.
Yeah, man, what's up?
Mind if I do my thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. First off, I'm a man on the mission. Draft the tune to the lab, just listen. I stay in the pocket, got it? Just like Clint, I'm clinging to your denim. Some days I just care about plays, till I realize it doesn't really pay. Stuck in the cycle, counting up the days. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what I say. Trapped in the mud, pulling me down, but I'll stand up and climb my way out. Gravity builds, forcing me down.
Oh, that one does have a solid
For sure.
backbone.
That's gonna be a good. This is gonna be good. I'm just waiting for Judgment Day, so I'm ready.
Me and Ange were watching during the judging videos, and we were watching your face
Yeah.
as this song got played to the judges, and at one point you were
Yeah,
like,
because the whole point, the whole they went exactly in the area that that I wanted to get, but I'm glad we did what we did, but they went
"Oh yeah. The nice thing with this mashup, both teams approached it
right,
from different directions. Here they went with a like kind of punk
yeah,
rock effect, whereas you guys were more the hip hop rock. So I think on the
right,
genre
yeah.
side, with the mashup being the way it is,
Mhm.
you got
These
a
guys
little
are good,
edge.
and I'll be looking forward to collaborate with Vampire and Oddball very soon. So I mean, they
Oh
love it.
yeah, Oddball's a treat to work with. The brass that he
Yeah,
brought in, he plays. He
Nice.
plays the trumpet. That was
but
all
Yep.
good luck to you
natural.
guys, and I hope that honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm wanting that advancement that bad, so hope maybe I see you on the very end of the WAG competition again.
Yeah,
Because I
keep
know me
on
and Mayvai is
rolling.
gonna be there. So
So that was our mashup one, hip hop rock, Big Facts, The Truth, and Made by Hendrix versus Oddball and Vampire. Vampire
Yep.
squared. It's exponential.
Exactly.
And what we've got now, we're gonna go into some of our
Mhm.
psychology here. Let's yeah, there they are, the Psychology of Rock, Freshie channel that I was like, okay, I could definitely do a whole night on
Absolutely.
psychology. I love it as much as science, and when it has to do with music, what a cool channel
Mhm.
concept they have here. At Psychology of Rock, they will be doing all our psychology videos tonight. We're going to start with how music changes you, the science behind the influence of music on your
Sure.
personality. Now, whether the music makes your personality or whether your personality dictates the music that you like or make, that's what I'm
I think they
curious about
influence each
here.
other. Sure.
Yeah.
Various ways.
it's got me on an influence rise.
So yeah, let's see how we're made.
Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Nina, and today we are talking all about the influence of music. Now, as we've already talked about many times on this channel, our personality type and our worldview play a huge role in the type of music that we tend to like. And we can find a lot of commonalities in musical genre preference based on these factors. But there's also growing scientific evidence to support the idea that the music we listen to can actually shape our personality and worldview over time and not just reflect them. In fact, studies have found that it can change us emotionally, cognitively, socially, and even neurologically, which I have definitely noticed in my own life. And I think you're going to find this research really interesting. So today I want to talk about what science has to say about how that happens, why it happens, and the different variables that influence how much of an effect it actually has on us. I also want to share my own personal experience with this, but I will get to that at the end. And as always, to keep the video concise, I'll just be kind of summarizing the main points of this research, but I will absolutely leave all the citations for these studies in the description box, just in case you want to read them for yourself. Now, obviously, not every person is equally influenced by the music that they listen to, so I want to start by looking at the key variables that determine how music shapes us, which after reviewing, I think make a lot of sense. But there are a few that I honestly had not considered, so let's just go ahead and go through them all together. Now, not surprisingly, the first is our age. We know that adolescents and young adults tend to be a little bit more impressionable because their identity is still forming, so music does tend to have a greater influence when we are younger. However, that does not mean that music can't significantly impact us as adults, especially if the right music hits us at the right time. The next factor is frequency. It makes perfect sense that the more often we're exposed to a certain genre or message, the more familiar it becomes to us, and the more we tend to accept it, and the more it becomes part of who we are as a person. Now, the next factor is emotional vulnerability. The study showed that in times in our lives when we are feeling a little bit more emotionally vulnerable, like after a breakup or when we're going through some kind of a crisis, that we are naturally more susceptible to the influence of music because of our lowered defenses. They found that it can intensify both positive and negative emotions, which can potentially have long-term effects if we repeatedly listen to the same type of music and continue to reinforce these emotional patterns. Now, the next one I found to be really interesting, and I hadn't really thought about it before, but it's our preference for lyrics versus sound. We know that people can vary greatly in how much they engage with lyrics versus focusing more on musicality. So these studies found that the people that do tend to be more lyrically driven tend to also experience more significant worldview shifts simply because they are paying more attention to what the song is actually saying. Now, the next factor is social immersion, which I think we could have guessed. Obviously, if our peer group or our community shares the same type of music, it's going to amplify how that music shapes us through social reinforcement. I think this is something that we've all experienced. And the last variable here has to do with personality traits. The study showed that people who tend to be highly empathetic and open to experience also tend to be a little bit more emotionally impacted by music and therefore are more easily influenced by whatever they are listening to. But now let's talk about how music actually influences us. And like I said earlier, the first way is emotionally. Repeatedly listening to our favorite types of music trains our nervous system what emotional states we should expect and tolerate. If we constantly listen to music that expresses extreme emotions, again, positive or negative, our body will start to normalize these emotional states and even begin to crave them. Over time, our emotional baseline can actually shift to reflect the music that we've been repeatedly exposed to. Now, the next way music can shape us is cognitively. This is because it can directly embed ideas, metaphors, and even full narratives deeply into the way we think. The lyrics that we listen to often become like mental scripts. We unconsciously repeat them to ourselves over and over again, and with time, they can start to shift how we perceive love, conflict, identity, and even morality. The study showed that if we listen to a specific artist or genre enough, it can actually start to shift our entire perspective of the world, including on social and political issues. It can do this by introducing new belief systems, ideologies, and cultural values that we begin to absorb, often without realizing it. So it makes perfect sense that it can also transform us socially. There's no question that the music we like connects us with a wider culture and a group identity. Every genre carries its own set of values, norms, and aesthetics. And when we immerse ourselves in a certain musical world, we begin to adopt the associated social cues. It can have a direct impact on everything from how we act, speak, dress, and even how we relate to other people. And something that I found really interesting was that the study showed that our personal beliefs can even evolve in order to stay in sync with the beliefs and values of our musical community. And last but certainly not least, music can also change us neurologically. Believe it or not, the study showed that it actually builds and reinforces circuits around identity, meaning, and connection. So every time we emotionally respond to a song, neurons fire and pathways strengthen. With time, and this is something that we've talked about a lot on this channel, music truly becomes woven into our sense of self. It reminds us of who we are, who we were, and who we want to be. And I'm not trying to be poetic here. This is literally how memory, emotion, and identity are actually structured in our brain. I really enjoyed reading this research because I can relate to pretty much all of it. I can honestly say that music has been one of the biggest influences of my entire life. And even though I eventually gravitated more towards rock and metal music, I actually grew up in the punk and hardcore scene, and the music and the community were absolutely everything to me. They absolutely changed how I thought about the world. The people that really introduced me to this music were a little bit older than me and incredibly intelligent and socially aware. So I think I was really positively influenced because I admired them so much. And I instantly connected to the music because I liked what it stood for, and I felt like it was really fun and thought-provoking at the same time. It ended up inspiring me to play guitar, and it made me really passionate about authenticity and individuality. It was just a great scene to be a part of. And looking back, I can definitely see just how much the music that I listened to changed me as a person. In fact, I think it eventually was what sparked my interest in psychology. So that is my personal story about the influence of music, but I would love to hear yours. So definitely let me know in the comments. I'd also love to hear what genre of music you feel has changed you the most. I hope you found today's research to be interesting. I have all the citations written in the description box. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video.
Oh, I love Nina.
Excellent. Yep. Love it.
Yes, this is going to be a great channel. She's a psych major with a capital M on metal.
Nice.
Right.
And I like the
She's
guitar. It's a nice collection there.
Well, what she was talking about, you know, I feel it in this WAG competition. Like, it's done inspired me to reach out to other genres and stuff like that and express my feeling a little bit more. Go back and actually try to understand some of my lyrics and make sure they're not contradicting the song and
yeah,
more metaphorically speaking in my music. So
well,
it's actually
the way she emphasized the importance of emotion from the listener or the music maker, you want your emotions to be consistent. If they're not, the listener can sometimes hear where the emotions are all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things needs to be authentic. Everything, you know, as far as even if it's a story about a character, and it doesn't have to be a real person or real emotions that were, you know, there, but it has to be a real connectable story.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, and this is where the empathy and the things she's talking about come into play. People who are more empathetic will likely feel music a lot harder than somebody who's numb.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now I definitely want to pick that guitar up. I think me and Tony talked about that in some of our Zoom chats, and kind of want to follow my dad's path, because my dad was a freaking string bender. I mean, he could bend strings really dang good. So I'm like, no.
Well, wait till you see the psychology of guitarists that we're going to look at in a little bit. But the cool thing with this one, going back to our WAG tracks now for Mashup 2, the two songs that we have here, the first one actually does kind of fit in with some of what she was talking about. It goes into my bipolar baby, Rusty's track. With Mashup 2, we had country blues, and Rusty and Tweedle were against Maha and Dmane.
Nice.
And for Rusty's track, it really does kind of fit into some of what she was talking about. Yeah. Bye bye polar baby.
Mhm.
And going to what she was saying, like, when you do reinforce an emotion, like, breakup songs, if you're in the middle of a breakup song, or if you're in the middle of a breakup and you listen to a lot of breakup songs, it does kind of enhance the emotion, and it can help you to get through it, or sometimes it can help to prolong it.
Oh my God, the prolongingness of crying in songs. Oh my Jesus. I've been there.
Mhm.
I feel that pain.
Well, and like she said, at some point, if you start to associate it with so much, you start to crave that emotion and that feeling, which could lead you to more breakups.
Woo. I've
And
had
also why if you keep listening to depressing music, sometimes you get to you become a more depressed or depressing person as time goes on. If you listen to happy music, you become a happier person over time. Yeah, that kind of thing as well. It depends on the overall emotional content of the music.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
why it's good. It's nice to keep a balance, a healthy
Right.
balance of both.
Exactly. Because some days you're feeling like metal and some days you're feeling like jazz. And it's not always the same day, but sometimes it is.
you are what you eat. That's what
Exactly.
that's what I've always been told. You are.
And with this one, we've got country blues, so it is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A very fun song, though. It does come across more happy with Rusty's style and swagger. So you don't really feel the blues; you just hear them.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like it.
So let's see what Rusty and Tweedle cooked up for round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my, my. Oh my, my. Oh my, my, my bipolar baby. Ooh, you, my bipolar baby. One night you're a sweetheart, baking me a pie. Next night you're a pistol, shooting me that eye. You hug me like a kitten and scratch me like a pet. Girl, you keep me guessing, but I kinda like it here. Baby, 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 you put the in bipolar. Oh, Lord, You're 1 minute high, the next minute colder. Oh, Lord, baby, you're sweet tea with whiskey, sugar with a bite. You kiss me in the morning, cuss me out at night. Oh shit, I never know your weather, sunshine or storm, but I ain't complaining cause you sure keep me warm. Baby, 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 you put the in bipolar. Oh, Lord, Lord. You're 1 minute high, the next minute colder. Oh, Lord,
Energy from the sun, well, we call that solar. But when you strike the pins, you're called a polar. Like the pain in your tooth, and nothing can't put the molars. Yet no matter how I try, I can't console her. It's not up to me to control her. So that's the story of my life, cause my girl is bipolar. Girl is bipolar. Bipolar.
come here, baby. Baby, 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 you put the
I like a song
Bipolar.
that makes me snap.
Yeah, absolutely. The bass line definitely hits both marks. Yep.
Oh Lord, Rusty, what are we
Mhm.
gonna do with you?
Exactly.
Well, I love that he pulled the Elvis out of Tweedle on that
Mhm.
one towards the end.
Mhm. Definitely. Some good stuff all around.
Yeah, and they did have some help from Daurian's writing desk. They're both lyricists and vocalists, so we have a contingency in there that if it's two singers, um, they can utilize somebody's track as long as they've got permission. And Daurian was nice enough to hook them up with a great little blues groove.
That is
Nice.
that's a really good song. I mean, Rusty is a really really good artist, and I've had a chance to actually work with him before the WAG competition and do a song with him. I've actually done two songs with Rusty, and I'm just ready to see what our genres can do together later on down the road.
What the wheelhouse spin does.
And
Yeah, yeah.
well, after the WAG competition, the future collaborations with him is going to be awesome because we're still evolving and we're not done yet. So
Yep.
Oh yeah, a
Still
lot of these
constantly evolving.
waggers are gonna yeah, a lot of these waggers gonna be collaborating more in the future.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, and
Opens
what's
up
good
those
with that
doors.
one, you really hear Rusty's style
Mhm.
on this one. If you're familiar with Rusty's music, this represents his kind of flashy fun. We call it like carnival
Mhm.
effect. It, he always brings that into his style.
Yep.
right.
Always crowd pleasing.
Yep. Now they were going up against Dmane and Maha,
Mhm.
and um, Dmane and Maha, they had a slow start. They didn't really get to Maha's on a different time zone, so it was a little tricky for them to get together. It wasn't until the later in the week, and with 7 days that can be tricky. But they did manage to put together a good rockish country blues,
Mhm. All right.
and theirs is "This Town."
Mhm.
I've been around, I burned to the touch. I've been a dog like a hound on a hunt. I'm around until you're found. And then the sheriff, he shot me down. Oh, I forgot what it's like in this town when I'm around. When I'm in town, I might sin a little, do it again and again and touch. Yeah, I'm a dog, a hound and a hunt, I'm around.
I've been down.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my share screen.
Indeed. Where'd it go? So
I want my baby back.
I want my baby back.
Yeah.
I thought Roland was coming through there. I thought he was like hacking through the network and trying to come through the bush in the dark.
Hacking his way in with a machete. Cutting through the jungle.
So that was Dmane and Maha. You know, with that kind of detuned guitar effect, it reminded me of like early Zeppelin.
Sure.
You know, like Jimmy Page would do that kind of like acoustic guitar kind of approach. And I swear, if I heard Robert Plant in there, it would be like a long lost Zeppelin
There you go.
song.
Nice. I know that certain time period you're talking about there. Yeah.
Yeah. Zeppelin 1 and 2.
Early days.
Yep. So now we're going to, after Mashup 2, we're going to slide back to some psychology. Except this time, we're going to look at the psychology of drummers, the personality traits that percussionists and drummers tend to have.
Right.
Now for this one, I'm gonna have to stop sharing and go to the cloud. There we go.
If you happen to be a drummer or you're just curious about what makes them tick, then stick around because I have some interesting insights for you. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name's Nina, and as I've mentioned in many videos, research definitely suggests that people who play the same instrument do tend to share a lot of the same personality traits that make them stand apart from other musicians. And today we are diving deep into the personalities of drummers. I found these studies to be really interesting because even though I play guitar myself, I have found many of these things to be true of the drummers that I happen to know. And reading through this research helped me to just kind of understand and appreciate them a little bit more. Now, to keep this video concise, I'm simply going to summarize what these studies have said, but I will certainly leave all these citations in the description box just in case you want to read them for yourself. Also, please keep in mind that these are just going to be generalizations, so it's entirely possible that you are not going to align with absolutely everything, but I do think that you will recognize some familiar patterns, and I would love to hear in the comments which of these characteristics that you most match up with. So with all of that being said, what does science say about drummers? Well, firstly, according to a 2015 study, drummers tend to be more outgoing, extroverted, and high energy than musicians who play other instruments. They also found that drummers have a natural need for movement, which makes playing the drums the perfect outlet for their energy because it's a lot more physical than other instruments. It's also why they constantly tend to be tapping on every surface they can because their brains and their bodies really are wired to do that. A 2014 study also showed that drummers tend to score higher on traits like impulsivity and spontaneity. I think this really makes sense given the dynamic and fast-paced nature of drumming itself. They are able to make quick decisions when they are playing, but studies also show that this really translates into their personalities outside of music as well. Studies also show that they are highly likely to be risk takers and can dive into new experiences without a lot of overthinking. They also tend to be pretty unpredictable and adventurous. Not surprisingly, they also tend to score really high in sensation seeking. This just means that they actively seek out high-intensity activities that provide stimulation and excitement, like playing the drums. But again, this is another personality trait that definitely tends to go beyond just the music. The studies showed that they're often drawn to high-energy environments and activities because their brains actually crave this type of adrenaline rush, and they also don't really seem to mind being outside of their comfort zone. The research also showed that drummers tend to be more open-minded and less conventional than many other musicians. And this trait, of course, plays a huge role in their ability to grow within their craft, but it also seems to often translate into a broader worldview. Personality-wise, this is specifically linked to being high in the trait of openness to experience, which includes being really imaginative and curious and just open to new ideas and experiences. Many drummers were also found to exhibit a strong sense of assertiveness. This just means that they're probably a little more comfortable than others saying no to something that they don't agree with, or expressing their personal needs, or even standing up for someone, or whatever it is that they believe in. And even though they are typically not the front person or lead member of the band, their assertiveness can play a crucial role in shaping the overall dynamics and performance. Okay, something that might surprise you is that drummers were also found to have a strong work ethic. Now, I know this one seems to go against the jokes and these stereotypes, but I think it does make sense when you think about it, because even just the physical demands of drumming often require significant practice and persistence. But it was also found that drummers often apply this same level of dedication to other aspects of their lives, and that they can often devote themselves to things that they care about for long periods of time without losing energy or enthusiasm. I also thought it was interesting that sense of humor was linked to drummers, because this is something else that I have definitely noticed. The study showed that they often regard having fun as being a highly important part of life, and also an essential part of their stage persona. And coming as no shock at all, research also showed that drummers often exhibit nonconformity, both in their musical approach and their personality, and that they tend to challenge social norms in things like their relationships, lifestyle, and behavior. So they may question authority and really like to do their own thing and value critical thinking and independent thought rather than try to just simply conform to societal standards. So all of this being said, tell me what you think. Do these personality traits match with you or the drummers you know? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and please know that if not everything matches up, that is perfectly normal. Remember, these were just the general trends that they found, so it could be the case that not everything is a perfect fit for you. For example, my favorite drummer, Neil Peart, was certainly not extroverted, but I do still think he aligned with most of what this research indicates. So I look forward to hearing if this was accurate for you and what you think these studies may have overlooked. I want to thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the analysis, and I will see you in the next video.
We removed that.
Just like that.
And you know, it's funny she mentioned Neil Peart there, because I was like, well, this describes Tommy Lee more than Neil, but you know, the work ethics and things that she mentioned with Neil definitely apply.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not extroverted, but I mean, is any Canadian really extroverted? I mean, by our definitions.
There are some.
By our definitions, by a New Yorker's definition, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, I have known a lot of drummers, and I do think these studies are pretty close to the mark on their characteristics. They do tend to have great senses of humor. They tend to be extroverts and more rambunctious, and they do like to move constantly.
Very much so. Some have like an impossible time stopping moving. Like you try to tell them to stop hitting things and they can't. Like they'll stop, but you'll see them like, squirming in their own skin to just be hitting something because there's a rhythm that they're thinking about that they need to be expressing in some way. And that's kind of what it comes down to. They're practicing like all the time, thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, she was describing all that. I started thinking, man, I might secretly be a drummer.
Absolutely.
If only I could play them.
Hey, start with two things. Start with the kick and the snare, and like imagine your right foot is hitting the kick, and imagine your right hand is hitting the snare, and just see how the timing goes. Like listen to one of your favorite songs and just try to tap along with your foot and your hand, and see if you can get the boom and the cha.
Yeah.
And if you can do those two, then think about the third thing and try to add that in with another hand. And then, if you can get 3 and or 4 things going, you're ready to sit down at the kit and try some stuff out.
I can barely get 3 fingers going, let alone other appendages.
It is, for me, the trickiest part is trying to get both feet going because like having, I usually keep just the hi-hat foot just planted, holding the hi-hat closed. And then if I need to get like a cha, like to get that open hi-hat ring in there somewhere, like it just throws me completely off because whatever I was doing before, like I was kind of rooted on that. And now I'm all over the place. So tricky.
Well, I am loving these insights into the musical mind, Nina. Keep up the good work. So now we're going to slide back to Mashup 3 in our WAG challenge. And this one was Pop. Pop made its way back for another round. And we had TTP, Brother K Beats, and Bassface. Brother K Beats had to drop out. They had a tough time getting it done by the end, but Scott came through with his track, and they were going against ConArtist and Cal McTabber, who, interestingly enough, the round before were going against each other. And now they're partners.
That's the way it works with the WAG.
Yeah, well, that's one of the cool things is that like you get to try out the collabs and then you get to compete against them. And for the first team, that was Scott's track. This one is aptly titled Better Late Than Never. Leave it to Scott to title the song to describe the moment.
Appropriate.
So let's see what kind of pop we've got here.
Pop it up.
Can't you see? This is something
BandLab trying to sneak another track in there. Curse you, BandLab.
How dare you?
I usually catch those.
It happens. All good.
Better late than never. Right, Scott?
That's what I heard.
And you hear those like freaky space kind of sounds. That did have like a space pop.
Yeah,
effect.
for sure.
Yeah,
a ballady kind of pop. Yeah.
We got 308 plays. Jeez. That's good.
Moving on
and
up.
How many likes?
Well, it looks like 60 reactions.
Okay, then. I see you, big dog. I see you. That's.
I hear you.
Yep, I heard it with my own 2 ears. I had to step up and get a drink, but I still heard it. It was awesome.
All right.
Well, that's how you know it's a good song.
Yep.
And speaking of space, their competitor, Cal McTabber and ConArtist, came up with Space Cadet.
On the space theme.
Yep, it's got me wondering about if they're talking about the moon is fake or whatnot, but it's gonna have me going into probably watching some space videos in a little while.
If I know ConArtist, he doesn't shy away from conspiracy.
Space videos are always good.
And Cal definitely doesn't have a problem with it.
Exactly.
So let's see how they did against Scott here.
Air in my skull, not swerving for none. This is my single burden. I toss and I turn, but the cost is my courage. A common occurrence, no thoughts of concern. It's a bomb that is burst and has popped out determined. Locked in a world when the thoughts about my purpose. Alerted and not stressed out, but I'm searching to find. But I can further refine. I couldn't discern for the time. If I'm burnt, then it's fine. I'll embrace what is mine. I'll take it. That space is vacant inside my mind.
I'm traveling, I'm floating like a satellite. I'm fucked up, but I can still see the finish line. But that's alright. In no time I'll be traveling at the speed of light, floating like a satellite. I'm a space cadet. I was born to live or die.
Going where my mind is called, my visions focusing among the planets. I imagine in a madness, in a trance of my own sadness. Understand this, I don't lag behind on accident. I'm encapsulated by my castle. It's the spaceship I've advanced to. Been invaded, it embraced it into asteroids are ripped it, but it still remains.
I sit in the abyss, all alone, reminisce about home, the suspense. I'm a clone who I miss, but the coldness is rich, I've gotten used to it. Now I'm frozen, I'm stiff, but the fumes are lit. So I'm nodding, I'm trotting, long, then I'll ponder. I upgrade my armor to soften and blow. Then comets arrive, consciousness caught in wonder. Karma has got smarter, I don't even mind the surprise. Consciousness caught in wonder. Consciousness caught in wonder. Consciousness caught in wonder.
I'm traveling, I'm floating like a satellite. I'm fucked up, but I can still see the finish line. Inches down, but that's alright. In no time I'll be traveling at the speed of light. Floating like a satellite. I'm a space cadet. I was born to live or die.
Going where my mind is clogged, my visions fluctuating among the planets. I imagine in a madness, in a trance of my own sadness. Understand this, I don't lag behind on accident. I'm encapsulated by my castle. It's the spaceship I've advanced. I've been invaded, it embrace it. Dented, asteroids are ripped it, but it still remains.
Yeah.
Yes, that was rockin' vocals.
Yes,
Uni.
indeed. Very catchy. Yep, it's got that catchy factor.
It's got a little Pink Floyd flavor if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like spacious Pink Floyd, but if you was on something and listening to that, that would put you like in a daze.
It's like they said, I'm fucked up, but I can still see the finish line.
Exactly. I love it. Shout out to ConArtist. It's between him and Daurian.
Yeah,
it's between him and Daurian next for me. So I mean, been wanting to work with ConArtist as well. So
Oh, I'd love to see those two get paired up too.
Absolutely.
Well, I really like Cal's guitar approach. The first round, I loved how he approached the guitar for his first round track, and with this one, he does have a pop side to his guitar approach that unique, catchy.
Yep. Very cool style.
I love this track.
Yeah. This one really is growing on me.
You might just be a space cadet.
And Cal is definitely a guitarist, and now we're going to go into the mind of how the guitarist works, because it's a little different than the drums.
Sure.
Gonna have to stuff
Equal dedication to the craft, though, as far as when it comes to hard working, the drummers and the guitar players, as far as really honing in on the technique and really refining their technique over time. Like the guitar players are the ones you'd see like just sitting in the corner, just like just like running through scales and things to get things down.
Yeah, sometimes they can be the introverts, the counter to the extroverted drummer.
And they play, a lot of times the most flamboyant on stage, being the lead guitar player trying to be out there in front. And so it's kind of like the opposites there. They have both sides of that coin.
Yeah, let's see what's going on in their heads.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Psychology of Rock. If you're new here, my name's Nina, and today we are finally talking about my favorite instrument and the pretty impressive cognitive impact it can have on us. Now, neuroscientists have been studying the brains of musicians for decades, if not longer, and one thing we know for sure is that playing an instrument physically changes our brain, and in a very positive way. Now, to be fair, many of these changes, like enhanced motor control, better auditory discrimination, and improved memory, can be seen in people no matter what instrument they play. But some adaptations are uniquely strong in guitarists simply because of the instrument's demands, like split-second coordination of both hands, the constant shifts between rhythm and melody, and the highly complex spatial mapping of the instrument itself. These adaptations are amazing because they not only end up making us even better guitar players in the end, but they also enhance cognitive abilities that are useful well beyond music. So let's go ahead and go through 8 specific ways our brains have been rewired through playing guitar according to science, and I will of course leave all the citations for the studies I used to make this video in the description box just in case you want to read them for yourself. And I want to specifically recommend looking at the one from 2024 called Structural and Functional Changes in the Brains of Guitarist Musicians, because I did find that one to be particularly interesting. But all in all, there was a lot more research on this topic than I was expecting to find. So for each section, I will briefly talk about the actual observable change in the brain. Then I'll explain how this change actually ends up benefiting us, not only as a musician, but also as a person. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. Now, the first thing they noticed was bigger motor maps for the fretting hand. They observed that in the primary motor cortex, which is the brain area that directs motion, guitarists develop enlarged motor maps for whichever hand they use to make chords. We can think of these maps as very elaborate blueprints for movements. For guitarists, the map on the fretting hand becomes larger and more detailed because it's constantly handling tiny, precise movements like hammer-ons, slides, and bends. This leads to faster and more accurate hand control the more we practice. But like I said earlier, the benefits don't just apply to our instrument. This fine motor wiring was also found to help in activities like typing quickly and sketching, really any delicate tasks that require precise hand-eye coordination. Now, another fascinating adaptation they found was enhanced neural communication. The study showed that playing guitar doesn't just change the size of the brain regions, it also improves how they actually communicate. It was found that musicians in general have more organized white matter in their brain's motor pathways, but for guitarists, this is especially strong in the connections between both hands. It turns out that this connectivity vastly improves the speed and efficiency of the brain's internal communication. So for guitar, this means greater speed and accuracy, but in our daily life, this could mean things like being better able to multitask or to perform complex actions that require both hands to work independently. Okay, the next change is increased cerebellar volume. The cerebellum, which is kind of tucked in the back of the brain, is responsible for managing things like timing and coordination. Studies that used MRI scans showed that it often actually grows larger in musicians, and in guitarists especially, this enlargement is tied to how demanding the instrument is. Unlike individuals who play instruments that rely more on synchronized hand movements, guitarists constantly have to coordinate two hands doing different types of things completely. This dual demand puts a huge load on the cerebellum, which eventually translates into increased resources, like faster error correction and more precise timing networks. Now, obviously, these things can help us out immensely when we're playing, but it can also help with things like balance, motor learning, and improved cognitive processing. But moving on, the next thing that was noted is stronger connections between brain hemispheres. The study showed that the corpus callosum, which links the left and right sides of our brain, is also stronger in musicians, and playing guitar specifically seems to push this even more. This is yet another positive outcome that stems from our hands performing completely different tasks, because it forces constant communication between both hemispheres of the brain. And once again, the benefits are not just musical. It actually helps us to integrate both logical and creative thinking, which is a skill that as a guitarist, you've probably already noticed that you naturally apply to almost every aspect of your life. And I might be biased, but I do think this is a very desirable trait. Okay, next up we have structural adaptations in the hippocampus. The study showed that the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and spatial navigation, is another area that shows unique changes in guitarists. The constant demand of learning and memorizing songs was seen to significantly strengthen this area, making it more efficient at encoding information and retrieving complex motor sequences. This neurological boost helps us to not only actually remember the songs that we learn, but also enhances things like general memory, spatial awareness, and the ability to learn other complex physical skills more quickly. Now, another big difference they noticed had to do with enhanced auditory motor coupling, which is a core aspect of a guitarist's neuroplasticity. This is the process that strengthens the link between our brain's hearing and movement centers. Over time, this allows for a seamless connection between what we perceive and what we ultimately end up doing with that information. In other words, when we hear guitar music, our brains don't just process sound. They actually activate motor regions as if we're about to play it ourselves, which ends up helping us learn songs by ear and improvise more naturally. Outside of music, similar connections help us with things like improved speech perception and faster reaction times all around. Now, the next thing on the list is increased gray matter in music-related regions. And yes, we did already discuss white matter, but there were differences in gray matter as well. Now, this term refers to the parts of the brain where the neurons and their connections are located. When there's an increase in gray matter volume, it's a tangible sign that our brain is adapting to skills and building more efficient neural networks. The findings indicated that because of this, long-term guitar practice is linked to both greater mental agility and resilience. This contributes to a strong cognitive reserve that helps our brain adapt more effectively to new challenges throughout our entire life. And while all of this is absolutely amazing, I think maybe the most significant finding here was simply that playing guitar promotes a more integrated and unified brain overall. It turns out that guitar playing is one of the few activities that simultaneously engages almost every part of our brain at once, from our motor and auditory cortices to our emotional and memory centers. Because our brain has to constantly juggle all of these functions in real time, it's driven to build these powerful superhighways that allow different areas to communicate and collaborate much more efficiently than non-musicians. The end result is a more agile, flexible, and creative mind that can very easily process new information. In essence, every single time we play, we're physically reshaping our brains to become faster, more connected, and more adaptable, both as musicians and as human beings. I'd love to hear in the comments if these are changes that you've noticed yourself, and if there's anything you'd like to add. Please do me a favor and let me know what you'd like me to cover next. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and I will see you in the next video.
All right. Good stuff there. And that's the thing is when it comes to the way that it affects the neuroplasticity, that it affects your brain, it really is the multiple instruments that you have affect your brains in different ways. So like learning piano at an early age did one thing. And then, doing guitar at a later age did something else. Like learning the different things at different times kind of made things sink in different ways. And learning piano first, I think, had a big effect on how I learned guitar and bass.
Oh, it definitely can. It explains why your brain is so big.
Somewhat, yeah. 6'6".
You keep exercising
Yep.
that muscle.
And that is key, actually. They do find when they study people who are, much older, 80, 90 years old, and the ones who are still really sharp, right? Like they study what kept them sharp. And in a lot of cases, it's not necessarily music because, you can only play for so many years. And as you get really old, the motor skills just aren't there anymore to do that. But keeping the mind agile with things, whether it's playing chess or mahjong or whatever, like just doing something to keep your mind active makes such a difference in staying sharp over time.
Well, that goes for some. I mean, you got some older cats, they stay in that rhythm and they get 65, 70 years old. Like my dad, right up I think about 3 months before he passed away, I got to hear him play the guitar, and it wasn't that great, but you can tell he still had it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the toughest thing for a guitarist as they get older, arthritis. Exactly. There are certain things that will get in the way, but the sharpness and the fact that they do apply that constant repetitive pattern does help to keep their brains sharp.
And the whole learning songs while away from the instrument also, like I'll be driving around and I'll be hearing a song that I had never heard before, and I recognize we've talked about chord progressions before, and like recognizing how a chord progression is going, and then just being able to picture myself playing it. And it's like I've taught myself multiple songs just while driving around, without an instrument in my hand. But one thing, as a bass player, I always play fingerstyle bass pretty much. I almost never use a pick. So one of the things, if I haven't been around a bass in a couple of days, I want to keep the fingers toughened up still. While driving around, the seat belt is in exactly the right position for my picking hand. So just like the front edge of the seat belt, and just kind of like like you kind of like thump on that, and just kind of it'll rough, it feels almost like playing the strings in that term. So you can get the timing of the picking hand while driving along, drive with this hand on the seat belt. So that's one thing that works for me.
Just do it. Do it carefully.
I know them fingertips have to hurt when you're playing 7 or 6 to 7 nights a week. They have to hurt.
They would, for sure. And it depends, like when you're playing that much, a lot of times your hands are just so used to it, it doesn't really matter anymore. Because at one point I was playing, 3-4 hours a day just in practicing and just in screwing around. And if you do that for a couple of weeks, couple of months in a row, like once you've built up to that level of playing, every single day, it's just, like I don't see actual calluses on the fingers, but if I tried to pick up something that was hot, it wouldn't bother me, right? Like as far as those fingertips were, really toughened up. And if I tried to play, if I all of a sudden I had, got to do a gig for 3 hours, it would be no problem. Just get up and play 3 hours, even if I'd already played a bunch that day, because they were just that tough over time.
Okay. So Ed, this is a really good question. I think this would be good for like future guitar players. What do you do to get your hands warmed up for a gig? Like, how do you warm your hands up to be able to hit them chord progressions and be able to give that authentic sound through a concert?
For a keyboard, I like to crack the knuckles and get my fingers limber.
And a lot of times it comes down to just doing, whether it's a sound check song or just doing, some kind of playing on the instrument, even if it's not plugged in. Like you'll see people, they get tuned up. Like that's step one. Like always make sure you're in tune, because people who just like get up there, plug in and go, oh, it's in tune because I put it in the case 4 hours ago and it was in tune. It's like, no. When you get up there, like you should make sure it's really in tune. And then just go through some things, even if it's scale runs or whatever, just something doesn't have to push the speed, maximum speed, but something to get, like Tony was saying, get your fingers limbered, make sure that your fingers respond the way that you want them to in certain things. Also, it depends when you're playing. Like if you're playing in December and it's cold, like when you came inside from outside, you really need to make sure you warm your hands up. So I would even maybe get a cup of coffee at that point.
Otherwise you're tense. And the cold actually makes you a little more rigid. And that's not that.
And I would get a cup of like either coffee or tea, and even if you don't drink it, but just to have a hot beverage there and just like hold on to it for a minute just to warm the hands up, and then actually like same thing, just go back to playing a little bit to make sure everything is working as expected.
All right. That was my question, because I'm interested in picking that new string.
Yeah. Well, and I'm loving this channel. One I'd love to see her do is the difference between bassists and guitarists, because here we got a little more insight into the guitarist mentality. And I would assume that the bassist has a lot of the same traits, but I would suspect there are some slight differences with bassists, especially if they are pure bassists, not guitarists who turned into bassists.
I agree, and partially because she was talking about the enhancement in the brain for the chord library, let's say, or like we were talking about the claw for the guitar, like understanding this chord shape versus that chord shape versus this chord shape. And if you're thinking about those chord shapes while you're actually playing or while you're listening to something, the fact that it's acting as if you were actually playing it, as far as your brain is concerned, it's as if you're actually playing it. So that's where that adds to that repetition and helps you learn songs even when you're away from the instrument.
Yeah, and Uni has some good advice there. Just doing something easy before the show. If you are practicing every day, and just something nice and simple to warm up is is better than trying to run a marathon before you run a marathon.
And also, if you're a guitar player, you would think you have your guitar and your amp on stage, and you would want to make sure your amp is on and working and warmed up, right? So there's things that you would want to, whatever you would play to warm up or check your amp, that kind of stuff. Also, it's checking your amp, it's checking your fingers, it's checking your guitar, it's checking your cables. People show up all the time and they plug in, and all of a sudden you get the from cables being bad. It's like,
you better check yourself.
yeah. Or does anybody have a 9-volt battery? And it's like, it's like you didn't show up with power, man. Come on.
Yeah, and even warming up before you move your stuff, and like Uni's saying here,
earlier in the day,
getting the gear warmed up in some cases,
especially when it's cold out, for sure.
Okay.
So I would love to see Nina cover the difference between a bassist and guitarist. Seeing as she comes from a guitarist mentality, I'd like to see her thoughts on the subtle differences. I think the chording is one of the big ones. Bassists have a different
now the
mentality.
motor connections, what she was talking about, the 2-hand connections and the speed and being able to play faster, all that stuff I would think would still relate the same way as it does with guitar, because that's more about lead guitar, and bass playing is much more like lead guitar in that respect, and not so much like the chord playing where you're actually just blocking out a claw and then having a rhythm in the other hand. It's a little bit different bit of timing, but even there it's still very complex timing with how you hold down the strings and how long you hold down the strings. If you're doing little chirp chords, you want to hit that chord really quick, but you want it to be like a chop, where you're only having that first little sound, like that's actually you hitting it and slightly releasing it with the left hand, with the fretting hand, so that you're no longer fretting them, so they stop ringing, but you're still holding them slightly so they're muted. Just little things like that over time you develop, you don't even really think about. It's just part of how you're playing. But if you were to try to teach it to somebody new and they're just like, they start just playing a chord or whatever, like there's little nuance that you have to pick up over time. It just takes time.
Yeah. Walk.
Yes. And that's why there are, systems or things that you want to learn before other things. Like when we talk about the pentatonics, that's a great place to start, because that can help you in so many ways on so many instruments. Just having an understanding of a pentatonic scale and how it feels and how it sounds, being able to work with that on any instrument will help you with whatever you're doing, really.
Yep. Bass tips from Blake.
The bass tips.
So now for our final mashup 4 in the WAG. This one is interesting. First time that the WAG has had a rodeo mashup. And oh boy, did these guys deliver on this one. I was kind of curious, like how they were going to approach, a rodeo song is a little different than your typical country song. You got to be talking about bulls, or in the case of Jeremy's approach, he went with the clowns.
Send in the clowns.
Yeah. This one we had RJS and Jeremy Hurt going up against Austin Haggerty, DJ Tatius, and Daurian's Writing Desk. I mean, when I saw these pair-ups, I was like, oh my God, this is a heavyweight match.
Doing the rodeo. Nice.
And come to find out that Austin's father runs a rodeo. So you want to talk about the wheelhouse spinning in your favor. Who would have thunk it? Rodeo song, perfect.
This song is definitely going to his father after this WAG competition.
Oh, yeah. His father must be proud. And actually, Jeremy and RJS's song is another one that, like, in his rodeo, send in the clowns. Like, I love that Jeremy thought like out the box on this one, and went after the part of the rodeo that a lot of times gets unrecognized. Everybody's focused on the bull.
The fearless clowns.
It's one of the judges had issues with clowns. So he's like, I don't know if I can like this because clowns scare me.
That's a Kramer answer right there.
Tweedledum, you ain't clowning around on this one, says Tweedledum.
Yep. No fooling.
Well, let's see what these clowns are talking about.
In the spotlight shadow, we take every hit. Dancing with disaster and I paint it on grin. And mask with the bone, we get the horns. They fuck around and we find out we're the rodeo reject. The circus gone wrong. Clowns in the crossfire, but we still play along. Dodging horse for pennies, can't afford a beer. But hey, at least our face paint hides the fear. We got a heartbeat of chaos, a scream in the stands. The fearless fools fighting with nothing but our hands. Fools but are broken, when we rise we fall. If you think we're just clowns, you don't know us at all. We're the ones that save you fast. They don't take a horn up the ass. Now please show the class and check out my new singing back. You're the ones who underpaid the fool. If you don't know us by now, here's a big bug. You must will be hiding in a barrel. Rest in peace, Dimebag Darrell. We are the ones who underpaid the fool. If you don't know us by now, here's a big bug. If you need us, we'll be hiding in a barrel. Rest in peace, Dimebag Darrell. This job is unbearable, the makeup is unwearable, the pay is fucking terrible, why is my house so shareable? We are the roadies of the rodeo, we do all the work and get none of the fame, yo. They all laugh at us, kids and adults too, feeling like a sideshow in the zoo. Where the dust settles and the crowd fades and the light go out and we finally get paid. Come join us for a beer and some stories, cause there's nothing better than a clown and his glory. We are the ones who underpay the few. If you don't know us by now, here's a big bug. If you need us, we'll be hiding in a barrel. Rest in peace, Dimebag Darrell. We are the ones who underpay the few. If you don't know us by now, here's a big bug. If you need us, we'll be hiding in a barrel. Rest in peace, Dimebag Darrell.
Oh, Jeremy and RJS showing their love for clowns.
Oh yeah. No fooling. Good stuff. Always loved that guitar tone for sure.
Yeah, and actually the bass there, the doom, 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 doom. It's growing on me.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Big hands, big feet, must be a clown.
Yes, now I just need a barrel.
You're hiding in a barrel.
Oh, I agree, Uni. Very original.
Yep.
It was. All these tracks are like super original.
That's what's awesome with the WAG is you get to appreciate the originality in the artists.
And I bet you none of them woke up last week or before the contest and thought, I'm going to write a rodeo song. Like that wasn't the first thing on their agenda.
That one was the interesting spin for me. I was like, yes, finally a genre that's very different.
Yep.
Mine was the first one, was the blues. I didn't think I was going to write like a blues song.
My first WAG track I had to do was a blues song.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it's just going to be probably like rock, country, EDM. No. I didn't know anything until I got inside this contest. Now I'm learning and growing, so that's good, and I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, that's the beauty. We're proud of you.
When I saw this rodeo category and Daurian and Tatius coming together, I was like, oh, damn, this is an interesting category, and these are two powerhouse songwriters. I think Austin enjoyed like getting to actually not have to worry about doing as much work as he normally has to. Like Daurian really stepped up and took care of some of the heavy lifting to get going, and Tatius got to have a lot of fun on this track.
Nice. 8 seconds or forever. I like it.
Yeah, and Glenn, I'm telling you, this one's gonna be sticking in your ears.
Another one. All right.
Yeah. At this point, it's my favorite track out of the WAG. Dan and ConArtist in round 1 had my favorite track so far. This one is like roaring like a bull.
Nice. Roaring in into the rodeo.
Waking with the sun like a bandit on the run. He's got his boots by the bed. Another time behind him, pick up loaded, hit the road for the glory up ahead. He's got dust on his jacket and scars on his pride, chasing down the storm with a fire in his eyes, and he's never gonna crumble from the blood, sweat, and thunder. 8 seconds of forever. It's a dance with the beast, where fear meets the fury, and your peace finds release. He's got a girl back home, begging him to stay, but the lights in the crowd keep pulling him away. No cowboy can settle, no matter the weather. 'Cause 8 seconds are forever. 8 seconds are forever. Wading through the wreckage while he's feeling all the pain, losing friends and fences, and he's broken more than rains.
When the beat swings wide and the beat goes free.
Oh, he ain't thinking, he ain't losing, crowd cheering, body moving on and down inside his mind. He's the man he's born to be, and now he's free. 8 seconds are forever. It's a dance with the beast, where fear meets the fury, and your peace finds release. He's got a girl back home, begging him to stay, but the lights in the crowd keep pulling him away. No cowboy can settle. I can feel it running up, falling, I'm riding to the end. I can feel it running up, falling, I'm riding to the end. I can feel it running up, falling, and I can feel it running up, falling, I'm riding to the end. I can feel it running up, falling, I'm riding to the end. I can feel it running up, falling, I'm riding to the end. I can feel it seconds are forever. It's a dance with the beast, where fear meets the fury, and your peace finds release. He's got a girl back home, begging him to stay, but the lights in the crowd keep pulling him away. No cowboy can settle, no matter the weather. 10 seconds are forever.
For sure, very catchy. That's one that it's going to be sticking with me for sure over the week.
8 seconds are forever, and that's a hell of a rodeo song. I just I got a feeling that rodeo song right there is going to end up on a Billboard charts one day. I just know it. He just got that touch, that flavor,
that hook, right? It's got that.
It's
It hit
got
all the marks. Sure.
Wait, you remember 8 Seconds, the movie?
I don't recall. No.
It's about riding a bull.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason they're going to make it 8 Seconds Part 2.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Get another one going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. And the fact that I got to work with this man in the first round, and the second round, I know they're going on to the third round, and I'm waiting to see what's at the end for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing is with all the matchups, I mean, I love the fact that it's just new songs that never existed, new ideas for songs, because people wouldn't have even thought of doing songs in a certain style necessarily if it were not for the contest. So I love all of that.
And all these songs, it's really the sound for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the industry out there, they look for new sound. That's what they want. They want that new sound, that new it. And what we have been doing in this WAG competition is damn near close. Damn near close. If not already it. It's that it factor. It's what they're looking for. So we're coming. We're coming.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
We're going to take that lab over with this WAG competition.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Damn, that bull knocked me off.
Yes, sir.
They were like, you were over your play count. You had to get knocked out of here so we could hear it.
He rode for how many minutes? 3 minutes and 54 seconds, and he was gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, that disconnection felt like forever.
More than 8 seconds.
that internet connection is Talkin Shhh I.T or S-H-I-T.
Thanks,
but
Elon.
the troubleshooting skills prevail once again, and he's back.
Yes.
Tell me the energy in that one doesn't make you want to join a rodeo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the breaks, the stops. Like I was saying, it hit all the marks for all the everything you'd want for a rodeo song, and just like you were saying, power ballad kind of thing going.
Yeah. Well, he's got a girl back home. I love the little lines that like make the rodeo guy a rock star.
Oh, you got to humanize the story for sure. Yeah,
there's a story behind it.
Yeah, that was a great finale for our WAG tracks.
Mm-hmm. Great batch this time. Yeah.
We've got the playlist in the description. Hopefully everybody goes, checks it out. Give them those likes, give them those comments, let them know what you think.
Absolutely.
Sir. Man, all that love.
Yeah, share the love. So for our last one on the psychology, we're going to be looking at the science behind musical instrument choices, why we choose the instruments we choose. And for me, I tried guitar first. I wanted to be that, but I settled with piano probably because of science. I'm going to blame it on science.
Let's blame it on science.
But I do have a temperament.
Yep. And so do the notes.
To the cloud again.
To the cloud. And then we press play.
Hey fellow music fans, welcome back to Psychology of Rock. If you're new here, my name's Nina, and if you're a musician, you've probably wondered at one point or another why you were drawn to your particular instrument, or in other words, what makes someone want to play the drums over the guitar or the piano over the violin. This is something that I was incredibly curious about and something that a lot of you have asked about in the comments. Now, I have played guitar since I was about 15, and for me, there was zero hesitation. I was 100% drawn to the guitar, and it's really the only instrument I've ever put serious effort into. Now, I know many people do play multiple instruments, but even in these cases, there is usually a clear favorite. So today I want to share what research has to say about why this might be the case, and I would love to hear in the comments if you agree or disagree. But please be aware that, of course, there are exceptions to every rule, and in the case of the music industry especially, there seem to be very prominent outliers that do not align at all with these studies' findings. But overall, I was not surprised at their conclusions. Now, there were really only a few valid studies that specifically address musical instrument choice as opposed to more widely researched topics like musical genre preference. But I did find these studies to be incredibly insightful, so I will go ahead and cite them down below just in case you want to read more about them. But today I want to give you a little summary and you can let me know what you think. Now, obviously, most of us end up picking an instrument that we like the actual sound of, so that is a given. But according to this research, there seems to be three primary factors that play a significant role in determining someone's musical instrument choice, and they are temperament, personal expression, and social influence. The study showed that any one of these factors or a combination of these factors is what tends to influence what decision is made. So let's talk about temperament. The findings indicate that different personalities are drawn to particular instruments that resonate with their inner disposition. And I do think this is something that we actually see a lot. Sometimes you can even accurately guess what instrument someone plays after observing their personality for like 5 minutes. Because the instrument that we choose is almost like an extension of our personality, or in some cases, our desired image. So for example, not surprisingly, the studies found that people who are more extroverted tend to gravitate towards loud rhythmic instruments such as electric guitars and drums due to their outgoing nature and in some cases their desire to gain attention and to be able to take center stage. And on the flip side, they found that more introverted individuals tended to prefer more introspective instruments like piano, classical guitar, cello, and violin that could be used more intimately as a means of self-reflection and emotional release. And again, I'm sure you are already thinking of dozens of exceptions to these rules, and the one that popped into my head immediately when I was reading this research was Neil Peart of Rush being famously introverted, yet still choosing drums and being one of the most talented drummers of all times. But this was the general trend that they found in the research as far as temperament. Now, the second factor that had a notable influence was personal expression. So in other words, they found that people tend to gravitate towards instruments that allow them to express their emotions most effectively. According to these studies, participants who scored high in measures of emotional expressiveness tended to have an affinity for instruments that are known for evoking strong emotions, which they claim are instruments such as the saxophone and the flute. And we can think of a lot of others, but for some reason, those were not mentioned. They also found that those who valued precision and technicality over emotionality were more inclined to select instruments that were complex, like guitars or trumpets that demand and meticulous control over pitch and tone production. And without even reading this research, we can see how someone might choose to play the drums as a way to help them express powerful emotions like frustration, anger, or excitement, as physically hitting a drum head can be a very cathartic way to release pent-up emotions. So the method we choose for personal expression is definitely going to play a role, but of course, all instruments can be used as a tool for self-expression. So I think a lot of this really comes down to personal opinion. Now, the third factor that was mentioned in the research is social influence. The studies revealed that external factors like family, friends, and cultural background also play a significant role in the selection process. So, for example, musical traditions within families can be one factor that ties people to specific instruments. So, for instance, if you come from a family of piano players, you are much more likely to play the piano. Another huge factor is peer influence. They found that people are drawn to instruments that align with their social circles and their musical tastes. And this is something that I can definitely see. When I was 15, I was in the punk scene, so of course I chose to play the guitar over the violin because that's what I was exposed to, and that was one of the most prominent instruments in all of the bands that I liked. The studies also found that this factor was especially relevant if the instrument was chosen during adolescence, where social acceptance has a much bigger influence. I also want to quickly mention that there were other factors that were shown to play a role, such as gender stereotypes, unfortunately, parental influence, cultural influences, role models, and musical and media exposure. And I think all of these factors make a lot of sense because these are also the factors that tend to influence musical genre preference, which I have a whole video about that I will link down below. But that is it. That is the research that we have. Take it for what it's worth. I would love to hear if you agree or disagree. I would also love to hear what instrument you play and what made you choose it. So let me know in the comments. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you next week.
Man, Nina is earning that master's.
Indeed. Yeah, and for me, it was the early decision on the piano was my dad was an excellent pianist, so there was always piano music in the house, always Chopin and things of that nature. But I also had cousins and uncles who were guitar players, so we also had guitar music that was always around during family things. So I had that influence as well early, and I did want to go towards guitar early, but did stick with piano mostly for throughout until high school, and dabbled with the bass for like a month, and tried trumpet in 4th grade, things like that. But all of that.
You blew your own horn.
I did.
You played the trumpet?
Oh yeah.
I played the trumpet too.
Yeah,
I'm surprised how
very
many.
briefly.
I'm surprised how many people have played the trumpet, because I know at least 7 or 8 of them.
The fact is that I only played it for a short time. I lived in Pottsboro, Texas, so I actually picked up the instrument. I was learning how to read sheet music then. I still know a little bit, but far as the trumpet, it's been so long ago, I forgot. But coming back to what you were saying, I'm kind of like you in a way. Music runs in the blood, and my whole entire family on my daddy's side was basically musicians, and it started with my grandmother. She was a gospel singer. She wrote gospel music, and Annie Grace Poole Wren, you can go look her up on Google and her music will pop up.
And there's no doubt that influences like that when you're young do help to shape, like some musicians go to an instrument because they saw an adult do it.
Yep.
But I do like these this criteria that she mentioned here. Like, when you get older, and it's not just from your influence from your parents or something. The instrument you pick, your temperament, your social influences, those really do matter.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, you hear my voice and you knew I was a bass player right away. It is kind of my range. Like I do have, I do kind of sit in that zone. If I'm singing, I'm like, I'm down here singing low. And most songs don't call for that, but I don't usually sing high. And if I am in that low range, I'm kind of in my own space, right? Because nobody else is down there. So that's
His
where
voice matches his instrument.
Yeah, it does.
and it's a 5-string bass, so it goes down extra low.
Oh man,
Oh.
Heck, yeah.
So
I'm
fancy.
Low B.
I really appreciate y'all having me on y'all's show. And what y'all do for us, and y'all really help us out, give us the insight on what's going on with the IT. Got my brother-in-law watching the show and sitting back, and hopefully he's watching tonight.
Shout out, yeah.
It was highly educational. I mean, special thanks
There
to
he
At
is.
Psychology of Rock.
Yes.
Been wanting to cover psychology. So awesome to find a channel that actually does focus on it from a musical perspective. Love
That's
you,
right.
Nina. Love you.
Appreciate you very much. Hopefully you might can come in one day. You never know.
Yeah.
That masters that she's working on, she's earning it. I don't know if she's got it yet, but I learned a hell of a lot from what she talked about tonight.
Yep. That makes so much sense, right?
Intrigues me more and gives me more ambition to change my genre.
Well, it helps me to understand the different types of musicians that I interact with. Understanding some of these things, then you realize when you're dealing with a drummer or a guitarist, you kind of get prepped for what you're going to deal with most times.
Yep.
It won't be the drums for me. I've tried to play the drums. I'm gonna tell you, I'm just not coordinated enough for that. I can't even. I know it takes time to learn them, but I sit over there. I could sit over there for a little bit. I'm not coordinated with the drums. You put a keyboard in front of me, and I can make you a hot track. I can make you anything you want to on the keyboard. Don't put me in front of some drums. Give me
I don't know if I can do the sticks and the feet, but you do have drummers nowadays that they do it this
Finger
way,
drums, yeah.
and they are a new type of drummer.
Yep. And
and you can do a lot of that from a keyboard too.
Yep.
The new stuff that's actually coming out for the dolls, and it's awesome. Like they got a new sampler out there. I think Mayvai was talking about the new sampler, and it's very expensive, but that's in my category of genre of music to use. You want to have a sampler in hip hop music, and in some rock music you might want to have a sampler. But appreciate y'all having me here, man. It was very highly educational. I learned a thing or two. So,
Well, and we might have a sampler night coming. That's another one that synthesizers and samplers and the differences between them.
That's right. That's awesome.
Yeah, we got some examples we can always look at. We had somebody over here had the RC 505 and the RC 303. Like we had somebody who had all the different models of the samplers, and we were able to check them all out kind of side by side. The 505 is the one that interests me. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's as powerful a sampler as it is a looper, and it does have some kick-ass drums built into it.
Yes, it does.
Exactly.
Yes, it does. Been watching YouTube videos on it. That's fine.
So we're going to be winding down this round 2 this week. I think we're going to be doing a little more review tomorrow, and then Saturday night we'll be finding out what's up with round 3.
Round 3.
Oh
Big
man,
music.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's coming.
But if round 3's tracks are as good as round 1 and 2, we're in for a treat.
Absolutely. It's great stuff all around. Appreciate everybody putting in the tracks. Appreciate everybody supporting everybody who put in the tracks. A lot of work went into these tracks. I know it's a compressed time frame, so it's
Yes, it
you had
is.
to get things cranked out fast, but we appreciate everybody jumping on board and listening and liking and giving all the support they can to the artists for getting in on these.
So it makes the work even more impressive knowing how tight of a squeeze they had.
Exactly.
Yep. And just like Rusty said, don't be scared. It's just the WAG, baby.
We're internationally known. So we'll see you tomorrow night on Angified, and we'll be back next Thursday to talk some more. IT. That's how you do it.
IT. See you, everybody.
Just the facts. Night.
We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear, and MIDI too. How to arrange, compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac and even with a mobile device, we'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and synths that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talkin IT. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much RAM. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. We're talking IT. We're talking IT. Every Thursday night on Angified.
I love you, oh loves. Do you have those? Do you wanna share them with me? I love you, oh loves. Oh, do you have those? I'd like to share mine with you. Can we share? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate?